Who is that one character whose death you just can't get over? Brooks from Shawshank Redemption. That scene gets me every time. He died so afraid. Brooks was here. So was Red. That poor bastard who clangs off of the propeller of the Titanic before falling into the ocean in the movie, Titanic. The old couple in the bed and the kids being read to are high on the list, but nothing beats Propeller Dude. RIP. The thing about the kids would be that once the water starts to come in, they're going to wake up and panic. You're all going to have a slow death of drowning, plus the horror of seeing your children drown in front of you while you can't do jack about it. Can't do jack, I see what you did there. Littlefoot's mom. 5-year-old me was all choked up at the theater. The scene where he sees his own shadow and thinks she's come back. Please stop. The girl, Leslie, in Bridge to Terabithia. I remember watching it as a kid and I was devastated. Haven't seen the movie since edit, glad so many of you agree, now I don't have to cry alone anymore, also want to excuse for everyone I made sad frowns. Well, this is a very dangerous post to be scrolling through. Mike in Breaking Bad, just felt so sorry for his granddaughter. Will you shut up and let me die in peace? On my first run through BB, Mike's death was the moment Walt turned irredeemably bad in my eyes. On my second run through, it was way before then. I guess I was still really rooting for the good guy long after I should have on the first viewing. Honestly, that's kind of how it's designed, I think. You're kind of in on it as someone who thinks they understand Walt and are rooting for him to come back from the dark side. You rationalize his behavior the same way he does, because it's for his family. Then you start to get vibes that, maybe he's not the good guy. You start wondering, how long has he been the bad guy then? Then you realize, he was always the bad guy. Tadashi Big Hero 6. He didn't deserve it, and he went to save someone who wasn't even in there. Hodor. Duck Bran the little curious asshole. Yeah, Duck Bran in general. Sam in I Am Legend. That scene, and the scene after in the video store, wreck me every time. I promised my friend I would say hello to you today. Please say hello to me, please say hello to me. Will Smith doesn't go hard often, but when he does he goes ducking hard. Mice Hughes. It's a terrible day for rain. Arthur Morgan. Arthur Morgan's horse. I'll always remember you, Django 3. I knew for some time that Arthur's days were numbered, but for some reason I was not expecting his horse to die too. That last, thank you Arthur whispers to his horse before running away is so ducking sweet but also sad frown. I was supposed to take care of you, Buell sobs. Old Dan and Little Ann. I was a sick, snot-covered mess of a 6th grader on my first read-through of Where the Red Fern Grows. I recently picked up a copy of Where the Red Fern Grows from a little free library and reread it. I remembered the broad strokes of the story and that the dogs die, but not all the details. I am in my 40s. I was a sick, snot-covered mess of a human when I finished it. The end of that book is brutal. I was very upset about Nemo's mom dying along with the rest of his unborn brothers and sisters. Marlon is a G and handled the situation accordingly. There's a live musical theater show with really incredible puppeteering at Walt Disney World called Finding Nemo the Musical. It's about a half-hour long and follows the movie pretty well, including the opening where Coral and Marlon are talking about naming their kids. 30 seconds after that, the Barracuda, a big projection on the wall, comes and there's a flash and a chomping noise and then it's just Marlon's voice breaking, calling out her name. The emotional whiplash of it wrecks me for the rest of the show day. Edit, and I'd like to add that you see a grown man alone on stage, holding a giant clownfish puppet on his shoulder, crying out for his suddenly dead wife and children. And this happens about a minute into a fun Disney theater show at a Disney park with an audience full of families with small children. It's nuts. Bob from Stranger Things. And the way they let you see the creatures chowing down on him killed me inside. Bob deserved better than that. He was actually supposed to die much earlier, but the producers liked him so much that they gave him more screen time and he had a say in designing his death scene or STH like that irk. He wanted to share the load. The freaking mouse from Flowers for Algernon. What got me was the ending. The guy slowly losing cognitive functions, yet not regaining his previous naiveness. He knows now that everyone uses him and laughs at him. I'm never reading that book again. Wilson from Castaway. I know it's not really a death, but Chuck having to choose between his raft and his own safety, and saving Wilson traumatized me as a kid. Tom Hanks crying in that scene was so ducking realistic, it really seemed like he just lost his best friend. Fuck, I love that movie. Sirius Black. Especially since it was so preventable. If Harry opened the mirror, Sirius would have lived. If Sirius didn't waste time taunting Bella, he could have lived. The wording also suggests it was the fall through the veil, not the curse, that actually killed him. Correct. In the movie it looks as though he dies and the veil sucks him in, but hard to tell because they stopped coloring the wand flashes. In the book he clearly gets stunned or immobilized and falls through, which kills him. If he was a few feet in any direction he probably survives. Oberyn Martell when the mountain punched out his teeth, gouged out his eyes and crushed his skull with his bare hands. The Duckers tricked me lol, I mean I knew he's gonna die when he challenged the mountain, but then the fight starts and I'm like wow, he's actually Winnie. Oh never mind, he died. I remember just saying to the TV screen, yes. Now kill him. Oberyn, kill him please, Hess still breathing. Oberyn. Ducking, kill him, son of a bitch. Have they told you who I am? I am the brother of Aaliyah Martell. I am going to hear you confess before you die. You raped my sister. You murdered her. You killed her children. Say it. You raped her. You murdered her. You killed her children. You raped her. You murdered her. You killed her children. You raped her. You murdered her. You killed her children. No, no, you can't die yet. You haven't confessed. Say it. Say her name. Aaliyah Martell. You raped her. You murdered her. You killed her children. Aaliyah Martell. Who gave you the order? Who gave you the order? The raw ducking emotion. Pedro Pascal did an awesome job. Definitely becoming one of my favorite actors. I'm surprised nobody has said it already, Washi was a leaf on the wind. Especially since even though the plot still progresses, you feel the affect of his death on everyone, especially Zoe. That's the worst part about it. He's dead but there's literally nothing anyone can do. No time to grieve. That open wound really sits with the audience until the end. Lennian of Mice and Men. I read that book in high school and it devastated me. I think that was the first book I ever read to give me such strong emotions to a character. Piggy from Lord of the Flies. He didn't deserve that. Read that 20 years ago and it still makes me sick. Charlotte, in the original version of Charlotte's Web. Damn you, I buried that memory long ago. While Dobby is the obvious choice for many, but I was more devastated when Fred Weasley died. I let out a huge no when I read it. John Coffey, like the drink but spelt Frent. Mufasa. To this day, I have to walk out of the room if that scene is playing. I saw it in the theater and my 6-year-old heart will never recover. It's not the death, it's when Simba tries to wake him up. Uck. Help. Somebody. Anybody. Boromir. I know it's not a death, but every time Frodo leaves Sam, Merry and Pippin behind to go to the Undying Lands, I lose my shit. The Shire has been savage but not for me. Samee, I know he comes back but when Gandalf falls, heartbreaking. Henry Blake Mash. I always tear up when Radar salutes Blake before he leaves, because I know what's coming next, and I don't want it. The silence, broken by the dropped instrument. Prim from Hunger Games, never saw the movie but I read the book. Finnick's death hurt more emo. When I read it in the book I literally cried. I'm so glad it wasn't as brutal in the movie as it was in the book. I was ducking devastated at this point, Finnick was my fave. But the one time I cried reading the books was when Rue died.